My name is Humberto Mendez. I'm 18 years old, a student at John A. Ferguson Senior High School in Kendall. And today I'm going to be showing you my short film. It's titled Wait, and I kind of wanted to just speak for itself, and then afterwards we can go ahead and discuss it. But it was my longest project, and definitely my most difficult one. It was shot in a span of around 4 days, all over my neighborhood, with a production budget of $40. And yeah, I just hope you enjoy it.
I wasn't always at this state. Ask me 3 weeks ago if I'd ever off myself, and I'd scoff at the question. But things have changed. All because I trusted someone. Because I trusted Lauren. Oh God, Lauren. She was the only one that really understood me. A year together makes that happen. I always knew it would end. I just didn't know why until I found myself in the arms of someone else.
See the duck over there, the way it just went into the water? It's crazy, right?
Yep, it's crazy.
Okay, what's up?
Ah, shit. Where do I even start? Okay. You were my best friend before you were my girlfriend, and right now I need my best friend. About a week ago, I ordered a pizza.
Wait, what?
Okay, hold on. I ordered a pizza, and I gave the guy 100 by accident. Surprisingly, he came back and gave me the change, but something stuck. Like, I don't know, I couldn't figure it out until recently. I think I like this guy. Like him.
Have you told anyone else?
No, Lauren. I mean, you know how my dad is, you know how my team is. This isn't something to be taken lightly, and it just might be a phase anyway. You know, can you just pretend to be my girlfriend? It might just make it easier on me, something not to worry about.
Sure, I'm here for you.
Thank you. And she was, for the time being.
That's right. Yeah. His brains football, bro.
Next level at North Dakota State.
Hi, pizza guy.
Hey, I knew I recognized the place.
Hey, thanks again for bringing back that change yesterday. I'm a legendary 80% tipper.
Well, next time you want to get more pizza, just let me know.
Adam. And we should hang out sometime.
Chris. And yeah, totally. Hey.
I told him how I felt, and he felt the same way. Life was great. I felt complete for once. But that didn't last too long.
I'm sorry.
What's wrong?
I told some of your teammates I thought I could change him. I don't know that I can. I'm sorry, Anna.
I'm sorry. God damn it!
Let me know.
Well, well. Here you are. You know your coach called me today? You thought you'd keep this secret from me, boy? I didn't raise no faggot. And I ain't gonna finish raising no faggot. Get out!
Dad.
Get out!
This world is a cruel and unforgiving place.
Look, you'll leave yourself to overcome.
You think I'm not worried sick right now? You think shock wasn't a factor in the reactions of people in school?
You think the world hates you because you found out you don't fit society's standards?
I messed up. I know it and I apologize, but I need you to know that you matter.
To me, to your friends, just please, don't do anything stupid. I love you.
So as you can see, it touches on a lot of concepts, and I had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And originally I was going to talk about the idea of being an artist and letting your art go, and not taking so long to go ahead and try to perfect it and just letting it happen. But seeing as how it's a story that's really truthful, I wanted to go ahead and talk about something a little bit different. So this film isn't just about coming out, not at all. This film is more about what it feels like to be a teenager and have a crisis that feels like it takes over your life. As you saw, those events occurred really quickly within a time span of a day to 2 days in the character's life. And which he was also the co-writer. His name is Adam Martin. He sadly couldn't be here today. But essentially, the main idea of the story is not about coming out, it's about having, being in that transitional phase of your life and just having that, those issues take over your life to the point in which you feel like you have nothing left. I personally can say that I've been there before. I can vouch for a lot of other students my age who have also stated that they have been in the position before as well, in which they have felt as if they're in a hole and they can't get themselves out of it. And so what I want you guys to get out of this more than anything else is just, you know, it's never too late to talk to anybody. It's never too late to go ahead and communicate your emotions and know that whatever is occurring at the time is not something that's, it's not the end of the world. It never is. And the world will go on with or without you, so you might as well stay. You know? And that's one of the things that I think is really important to me, and it was really important to the story. And that's why I went ahead and wrote the story and decided that it was just crucial to go ahead and get it out, because I know that students who were to see that story in some way or form could relate to it at some point. And other than that, another thing that I wanted to discuss is basically the idea of releasing a story and how long the process took. So I've been filming for 2 to 3 years, filmmaking for 2 to 3 years, and this is my first short that has gone over 5 minutes. It's an 8-minute short, and like I said, the production budget was $40. It was pizza. 2 Little Caesars pizzas a day for those 4 days, and you know, or 4 I think, but we just got over it with just that and a bunch of favors asked. And so for any artists that are here, or any creatives, or anybody who has a project that they're very passionate about, I want you to know that the world wants to see it. And if you keep it to yourself and try to keep on perfecting it, it's not going to happen. And we all can get easily stuck in that loop. I know the first script that I ever wrote, I didn't get to finish because of just how meticulous I was with it and just not wanting to go ahead and let it go. It's my baby, you know? And I'm sure that we all have projects that we're passionate about just like that, or hobbies that we're passionate about just like that, to the point in which we feel that it needs to be perfected. But you're all creatives. Even people who aren't in the creative field are all creatives, and whatever work that you may do, there's going to be better ones to come later on. And the important thing is for you to go ahead and leave your mark and leave a message out to other people and make sure to be heard. So then you can go ahead and go on to the next thing and then make sure to be heard again and again and again, because we transition. And if you keep on trying to perfect something, it may no longer be relevant. Another thing is, a lot of people think that that's not a very common issue, and I can completely understand when it comes to coming out of the closet and the way that, for example, that the father who is here, quote-unquote father, this is our actor, and my neighbor Vic, I'm telling you, I'm resourceful. He came up to me during the story and he said, are you sure this is how people would react to this? Is, you know, your child coming out? And I said, yeah, you know, the world's not all butterflies. Like, it's not at all. And we're a lot more accepting now in certain areas, but it's still crucial to know that not, you know, the whole entire world is not the way that we are. And not everybody is accepting. And some people are still very homophobic, or some people are still very scared of truths, whatever that truth may be. So that kind of made that something that I wanted to bring up, because I found that really interesting, that, you know, some people may think that that's no longer a problem. It is. You know, homophobia is still a huge issue, and I'm sure that we're all very aware of it. But also, not being able to speak up is a huge issue, and I'm sure that we're all also very aware of that. And that's why we're all here today, to go ahead and speak up and to say that we do matter, and the world matters, and that we have to go ahead and change it as best as we can. So now I'm open to any questions.
Yeah. I think it's, first of all, brilliant. Thank you. Secondly, I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist, and I have been since my very early childhood.
Yeah.
I was blinded in 2nd grade. I was hit by a stone when I was playing in the playground, and 2 patches were placed over my eyes. I couldn't see the world for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
After they took off these patches, all I wanted to do was paint and draw. Okay? I became a visual artist. I went on to become the president of the Charter Art Club at the school I was on. I graduated magna cum laude from Florida International University, and I teach art. And it's always came as a natural consequence to me to be an artist and to express myself. My wife is sitting next to me, and when I want to talk, it's easy for me to talk because it's just the design of my nature, if you will. I think what you're saying in part, and if I'm not correct, I'm happy to understand this better, that it's not so easy for other people to say that, some things that they wish to express.
Yeah.
Am I correct with that?
No, yeah, entirely.
Okay, so given that, and contrasting compared to the way that I have a natural tendency to be, I think this is a good message and point to those individuals who perhaps aren't as aspired to being expressive in a natural sense as maybe someone like myself or if there's other artists in the world would be. So it resonates very well, and I think it's very well put together. I don't necessarily have a question, and it's a quasi-comment, but...
No, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
So, can you say what it was that made him take the noose off at the end?
So yeah, so basically what occurred was just him finally coming to terms with the fact that it's not going to be the end of the world. Those voices that he heard were from the perspective of those voices were from the people that love him and the people that care about him, including his father, even though his father said that very hateful comment. But that was because it was all in the moment. And that was actually all going on in his head. So his voice of reason happened to be the voices of the people who hurt him the most and the person who loved him the most. And so that's where that comes from, is just basically him understanding that, or a part of him understanding that you have to come out of that ledge because it's not gonna be the end.
Yeah, because, you know, that's an irreversible choice to do that. You can't take it back. If you kill someone or if you kill yourself,
exactly,
you can't come back.
Yeah.
I remember as a teenager, I had been through, multiple divorces, and I, thought about suicide. But to me, it was always like, okay, that's always there, and that's, that's like a last resort. But because it's there, then you don't really have to do it. And I think when you survive things, the first time it happens, it's really devastating. But then you see you survive.
Right.
And through the course of your life, you go through things.
Right.
So anyway, but I just want to say it's a great project, and I think it's going to have a great effect on a lot of people. So.
Thank you. Yeah. So I met Robert. He went to our school to do a presentation at Johnny Ferguson, and I was fortunate enough to do this man's job right over here, to shoot the interview, to shoot the session that he did.
Yeah.
And while I was shooting, I couldn't help but ask questions. From filmmaker to somebody who has such a big background in filmmaking, I had to ask questions, and a lot of the questions that I asked were very, very technical, and really there was a lot of film jargon involved. And so he knew immediately that I took an interest on the work that he did and on filmmaking as a whole. And afterwards, I was fortunate enough to go ahead and interview him, and then I got his email and got in contact with him, and just like you said, he's a person who likes to give and give and give. So I showed him the film. I sent over the film, the rough cut, and he liked it so much that he said, "In a couple of months, I have this thing that's occurring. I want you to come out." And we didn't get in contact with each other for a good while, and I completely kind of forgot that as to whether or not he was actually going to confirm or anything. But he contacted me, and he said, we're still doing this, and just reminded me, and I think it's a very awesome thing, and again, I want to thank you for this opportunity because it's
Thank you. And you're something you said before about making this film on $40. That's also a great thing for filmmakers. One of my colleagues many moons ago, this like back in the 90s, was a sound mixer, and that was his job, and he was a big-time sound recordist for movies, and he was in his 50s at the time, and he was going through a divorce, and he had 2 sons in college, so he had to keep working in his profession, but he had this secret aspiration of being a director, but he never acted upon that.
Yeah.
And he was working on the movie, he was doing a sound movie basically on the movie Dick Tracy that Warren Beatty was directing, and Warren Beatty kind of knew about his secret aspiration, and one day came up to him and like gave him this Godfather-style hug and said, "Tommy, start before you're ready." And to me, that's like it was great advice for people. That's what you did, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you can spend many years just getting your ducks lined up and never really do what you want to do.
Right.
And so you just went ahead and did it. I think that's.
Yeah, it's a concept that's actually taught a lot in my school. 1 second. It's a concept that's taught a lot in my school because our film teacher, bless his soul, he's a great film teacher, and he goes ahead and the first film that we ever do, we have to shoot on our phones. We have to shoot on our phones, whatever phone it is that it may be. He puts us in a group, and then we have to edit on our phones and then release the content within a span of about a week. And he makes this, you know, that obviously keeps you on your toes, but it also reminds you that you don't need a $10,000 camera, an amazing microphone, and a staff of 30 people to 40 people to go ahead and make a movie. This was done with 6 people in, I think it was spring break or a long weekend, all shot entirely in my neighborhood. So we walked to every single area because there was not enough gas money. And then we asked a bunch of favors for the camera equipment and everything of that sort. And then we shot the locker scene in my school's locker during lunch. And they didn't even know that we were going to go. I just, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this while you guys are taking your lunch. I'll be in and out in 5 minutes. And then that same day, I rallied up all those extras and said, are you eating right now? No, you're coming with me. You're going to be in a movie. So don't ever think that you can't. Trust me, you can. So.
Yeah, I just have a technical question in regards to storytelling. What was your reason behind the decision of some of the lighting in some of the scenes? Like, for example, the scene with the dad.
Yeah.
And then how do you go from there in terms of lighting?
Okay. Yeah. So actually, lighting was a very difficult situation when it comes to this film because we wanted to go ahead and shoot it at night, could not shoot it at night because of the fact that our camera sensor wasn't good enough. It would be really noisy, and we were also in an area in which we didn't have any outlets, so we couldn't put in any lights. So we had to shoot during the day, and then put the exposure down, darken the exposure, and then all of the lighting decisions were really decided in post, except for that one scene where it was his scene in which I actually had the time to manipulate the light because it was the last scene that we shot. The reason why I made it so dark, obviously, is because of his. It shows where he's at. He just got. Essentially, what I wanted to show is that he just got out of work. His son's coach and also a very good family friend goes ahead and gives him this news as this machismo character, which, by the way, he's not at all. He actually felt really uncomfortable doing this role, but I begged and begged, and he went ahead and did it, and he did it great, in my opinion. Basically, I wanted to show what he was going through inside his head through the lighting, so that's why I made it very low key and very dark, so you can see how troubled he was. And then I think one of the more important parts of it all, in terms of, it wasn't really in terms of lighting, but it was mostly in terms of, I don't know if you noticed, but everything got darker as time went by, but the montages, all of the things that were happy, they all had kind of this like filmic, this very like film grade to it, and it had a little like thin strip of transparency in front of it to just make it feel very nostalgic and very happy, and I like the contrast because it goes ahead and really shows what the whole story is about. Is that once upon a time I was this, now I'm here, but I could be that again. So that's where the lighting decisions were mostly made. But like I said, there was no budget, so no lighting really. Yeah.
I just want to say, as a psychiatrist, this was sensational. It was fantastic. You touched on such big issues, right?
Yeah.
Suicide, homosexuality. These are huge issues. And they were done so beautifully. Did you all notice all the mirror neurons when they were in love? All the behaviors were synchronistic?
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah,
I
purposely made them wear the same clothes as well.
That's mirror neurons, so now you get that piece. So the piece that I think you might not have thought as much as you could in your next piece about is the alcohol.
Yeah.
Because when someone is about to commit suicide, it's hard to turn back when alcohol's involved.
Right.
and I thought it was great the way you pictured the father drinking.
Yeah.
So maybe your next film could be about alcoholism, because that's another real scourge on our society right now.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely think so, and something that's also very, very, very common. We see it as a very recreational thing. You know, I'll have a drink in the weekend.
It's great. Just great.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much,
My
guys.
daughter has a friend that's going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you're planning to show this at schools, because we need a conversation about this. And it's a very strong film. I
Yeah.
mean, it really puts it down like it is. You know, this is what's happening in our society with, you know, people learning about themselves in ways they were not, you know, taught. It was just natural. So I think it should be, you know, out there at the schools, be shown, and let's talk about it, because it does happen, and it's quite common.
Yeah, well, I'd love to see that occur. I personally, we had a film festival in a school, and that's where I showed the film. But other than that, this is my second showing. It's also a new cut, so I fixed the lighting a little bit, and some things have been changed here and there. But I don't know where this is going to go from there. I haven't turned it into any festivals. I haven't gone ahead and I just recently submitted it to Young Arts, but that was it. And so we're just going to see from there. Hopefully, yeah, I know that it's a story that I want to go ahead and get out, because it is a very truthful story, and I think young adults will really be able to understand that. It's contemporary. So.
You need to call the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill and all the suicide prevention organizations. I think they would be very happy to share this movie, because it's very powerful. I think there's a lot of places that you can tap into.
Yeah, I'd love to go ahead and do that. Thank you very much.
Give you more suggestions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I work in Miami-Dade College, and some of my students, they have this club called NAMI. I don't know if you're heard about it.
NAMI?
And so they talk about issues like this, and they also do presentations at, you know, invite people to do presentations at the school.
Okay.
So I'm part of that club. They can maybe put on their schedule a workshop.
Like I said,
Cool.
thanks to Robert for this opportunity, because now I see that this is definitely well worth it. Yeah, I'd be very interested in that. And you know, it's not out yet on YouTube or Vimeo or anywhere like that, because I'm still wondering as to whether or not it's going to go through the festival route or the festival circuit at all. But once it comes out, I'll be sure to let Robert and let everybody here know, so you guys can go ahead and see it, and I'll definitely exchange information with you as well. But yeah, I hope that you guys liked the movie. I hope that you guys understood the message behind it, and have a nice day.
Thank you very much.